Question number 6, Chris Hipkins.
To the Minister of Education, Mr Speaker, is she satisfied the government has fulfilled its 2008 commitment to tackle truancy? If so, why is the truancy rate now higher than it has ever been?
The Honourable Heke Parata.
Mr Speaker, yes, I am satisfied that our government is continuing to work hard on tackling truancy. As I've said in this House before, one unjustified absence is one too many. We want kids to be in school and learning. The attendance survey for 2014 indicates a slight increase in the truancy rate over the past 2 years, but the total absence rate has been decreasing since 2009. This is compared to a 41% increase in the rate of unexplained absence under the previous Labor government, which was so complacent that it measured truancy only every 2 years.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Did the National Government promise in 2008 to give schools an additional $4 million a year to, quote, crack down on truants? If so, how much of that money have schools received?
The Honourable Heke Parata.
Mr Speaker, what the government has done has been to over double that amount of money and put $9.7 million into an integrated attendance service to support schools with tackling this. That's in addition to the operational grant that schools have at their discretion to also tackle truancy.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Did the National Government promise in 2008 to, quote, help schools out by providing additional funding of $4 million a year to ensure they can fight truancy on the front line, end quote? If so, how much money, additional money, have schools received to combat truancy since 2008?
The Honourable Heke Parata.
Mr Speaker, to be clear in my answer to this, the decision we have taken instead was to double the amount of truancy to 9.7 instead of the 4 million, and to provide it in an integrated attendance service for chronic and persistent truancy, while occasional truancy is dealt with by the school. I am answering the question if that member would care to listen.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Order. Well, he can listen without interjecting as well. Chris Hipkins.
Did the National Government, thank you, Mr Speaker, did the National Government promise in 2008 to crack down on parents of persistent truants by increasing prosecutions? If so, why are fewer parents being prosecuted now than there were under the previous government?
The Honourable Heke Parata.
Mr Speaker, prosecutions are, numbers of prosecutions are not the measuring stick we use. It's retention. It is retention in schools. So there have been 14, you don't prosecute people if there aren't people to prosecute. So 14 prosecutions have occurred of persistent chronic truancy. Funding of $75,000 has been made available to schools who are pursuing their own prosecutions. And in the meantime, we have put $145 million into positive behaviour for learning, which is aimed at attracting, engaging and keeping kids at school. We've funded 960 more Trades Academy places to engage kids and keep them at school. Truancy is not simply a school responsibility. It is the responsibility of parents, family and whānau, as well as of the children themselves.
Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins.
Does the attendance in New Zealand schools 2014 survey result show that 1 in every 78 students regularly bunked school in 2013, a 30% increase on the number the year before?
The Honourable Heke Parata.
Mr Speaker, what I can tell you is there has been an overall increase of 0.7%. Yes, young people do bunk school, and it is in our interests, as well as schools, to try and provide engaging programs to keep kids at school. But as I've said, no, we haven't. We haven't failed. We have seen achievement going up 23% for Māori in the time we have been in government. We have seen the participation of kids at early childhood increase while we have been in government. We've seen an overall increase of 13%. That is not failure in those young people's vocabulary, nor in ours.
Order. Supplementary question, Chris Hipkins. Order.
Is she concerned that a recent PISA study found New Zealand stood out for having one of the strongest links between skipping school and maths achievement, with those students who skipped school 1 or 2 times before their exams being up to 2 years behind those who did not skip a day? If so, why is her government breaking its promise to increase the amount of support to tackle truancy?
The Honourable Hiki Parata.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I am concerned about that. And Mr. Speaker, to the second part of the question, how is providing 9.7 million instead of 4 million a decrease?
Question number 7.